In this video, we're going to look at the roles of the different people involved with project management and how they communicate with each other. It's important to understand as well that whilst we might talk about an architect or a surveyor, we're actually talking about teams of architects and teams of engineers that work together. Let's have a look at how we can lay a company out. Now, in all scenarios, the client's going to come at the top. In this scenario, we're going to look at an architect leading the company. Underneath the architectural team, we're going to have some engineers. We're going to need a quantity surveyor, a project buyer, and a project planner. Now notice we haven't got a project manager at this point, and all these people together are involved in project management. Now these people are the design team. They will normally sit together in an office so they can easily communicate with each other. Now we're going to look at the site team. So classically we'll have a site manager and probably a safety officer as well. Underneath the site manager, we're going to have some foremen. Every company looks at this in a different way, but it's quite common to have a foreman on a new build apartment block where you have one foreman looking after the outside and one looking after the inside of the building. Underneath each of the foremen, you're going to have site operatives and skilled laborers. That's everything from your plumbers, your electricians, right down to the person pushing the wheelbarrow and operating the lift. And these are known as the site team. So let's look at something as simple as a brick and see how the design team would deal with that brick. Now the architect is going to come up with the design. They'll decide what shape and form the bricks are going to take. The engineer is going to make sure that the building stays up. They may well say use different bricks, use more bricks. At this point, the quantity surveyor is going to work out just how many bricks we need. They won't just work out how many bricks, but they'll work out how many people we'll need and how long those people are going to need to use those bricks and build that structure. The project buyer at this point, once they know how many bricks we need, is going to start phoning around and getting for different quotes on the bricks. Now, once they've got all those quotes, they'll also look at the reliability of the suppliers as well. Whilst you might be able to get some cheap bricks, they're no good if they're of a poor standard or they don't turn up on time. Once we have a good idea of the materials we need, we can get the project planner involved. They'll start to produce charts about when these materials are going to arrive. But not just the materials, remember they've got to get the labour on site, they've got to make sure things like scaffolding and tower cranes arrive on time as well. And remember, throughout this process, the local planning authority need to approve the building. They may force some changes on our design team, and the client may change their requirements as well. So now we get to the site team in the construction phase. Now remember, it's not materials that we need turning up straight away, it's generally machinery. This is going to be coordinated on site by the site manager. The safety manager is going to make sure that everything happens safely. He'll make sure that the risk assessment put in place by the design team is followed and hold toolbox talks so these site operatives and skilled workers can work according to the plan, whilst the site manager is making sure everything's going on schedule. Every now and again, the architect's going to come and visit and make sure that the site's fulfilling the client's vision as well. If things don't go to plan, such as materials or labour or workers not turning up on time, the site manager will have to go back to members of the design team, such as the project planner, and sort out alternatives to sort this out. Remember, when you write up your coursework, make plenty of links to possible scenarios. Make sure you link your work to the things that may happen during the design and build of your passive house designs. Make sure you explain who communicates with who, both in the design teams and the site teams, and not just at the start, but throughout the project. Don't just explain how things should work, describe the factors that may cause problems along the way.